Why is it so important for millennials to get out and vote?
Because they shape a future.
Millennials are the ones who will be taking the reins of the political and the social and even the religious platforms in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Some of them even have some very influential roles already.
I started, before I was appointed to the bench in 2008 by Governor Bredesen, I started as a prosecutor. And from a criminal justice background, I think it's vitally important seeing how much of an impact the criminal justice system has on the community overall, that millennials understand that they need to be involved with who is prosecuting cases, who is dispensing justice over those cases.
I think millennials play a huge part in the progression of this city. And with the population of this city being close to 1 million, we have the potential to compete with other major metropolitan cities such as Dallas, Atlanta, Nashville, if you will.
Millennials need to vote because we get the leadership we deserve. If you all, the younger generation, millennials, decide not to take advantage of this opportunity or your God-given right or the right that so many gave up to, or fought for to give, you get the leadership that you may not agree with.
The age group between 18 and 34, they make up 24% of the population, but only 8% of them are participating in the political system and voting.
In order for us to continue the trajectory of what I consider to be social justice and political and social religious progress, reformation, if you will, then somebody's going to have to step up to the plate. You know, imagine there's somebody running and they're running their leg of the race and they have a baton. And then they're running to hand the baton off to somebody else. You know, in a relay race, you really start running before you get the baton and then you reach back, right? So just imagine that happening, and then at some point the baton is dropped. And I think over the past 30 years for sure, probably more specifically the last 20, we've been spending a lot of time arguing over who dropped the baton. And we constantly get further and further behind in the race. So it's incumbent upon somebody to pick it up and hand it over to the next person or the next group that's going to run the next leg of the race. And I think that the millennials are pumped and primed for that position right about now.
If we can engage in the younger demographic, get them out to the polls, let them know the significance of voting, they'll have a huge impact on the election. I mean, if we can get 18 to 20% of that 24% of the population to vote, it'll impact the polls significantly.
It is very important for millennials because, one, they set the tone for rejuvenating our city, recruiting new and active people to participate and live in this city. And so that's why it's important that millennials vote.
Okay. And I love that reason. That's reason enough for me. It's just the fact that we are standing on people's shoulders, our generation, and so many that came before us, this was not a right for them. So I love that. It will forever be reason enough for me to go vote, is that I'm voting for my great-grandparents, my great-grandfolks that, that couldn't. So that's reason enough for me, and it'll
Absolutely.
always be.